Okay, so I just got downtown in downtown Raleigh, and I have to go to the permit office. I started the application process to permit the little build project I have going on, what I call my tiny house. It was July of 2017, and my permit has been pending all of this time. Every time I comply with what they tell me I need to do in order to get my permit, they change the rules. And this has been the case for the last 2.5 years. So I think I'm finally in full compliance. Hopefully their rules haven't changed again. I have to go up here to the permit office and talk to them, get a few things changed in how my permit application is drawn up. And hopefully, fingers crossed, this is it. I can get approval and move forward, or at least get the inspection scheduled that I need to get approval to move forward with my permit. So here's hoping. I'll let you know how it goes in the end. Thought you might like to see a little walk around downtown Raleigh as I head up for the permit office. So this is the building. Wish me luck. Okay, just came out of the permit office. Went really well. Everybody in there was really friendly and very helpful. We basically I had so many permits. Woo! So basically, someone was saying, hi YouTube. Someone was saying what I was saying. What was I saying? Okay, that was difficult. Windy, noisy, loud. But the good news is everything worked out great. Came out of the permit office. Everybody in there was very nice, very helpful. So what happened was I had a whole bunch of permits open, and they were even having a hard time making heads or tails of it. And I've paid for 2 different permits, $800, and both of them led to nowhere. So what they agreed to do was refund me on both of those permits, put me under a different permit, a different type of permit, which was only going to cost $200, which I went ahead and paid for today. They're refunding me the $800. So that's great. They helped me draw up some new plans, resubmit them. I had to do new plats showing all the changes I wanted to make, and then submit all of that, and it should get approved. They're going to push this thing forward, so things are looking great. So definitely worth my time. Took a little over an hour to go up there and do all of that, not counting drive time to get down here. So I'm gonna go get something to eat, head home, and get back to work. Thanks for joining me in this video.
I just wanted to take a minute and show you all the plans I drew up for the tiny house, as well as the deck redo, and for my food forest and garden plans. Sometimes it's a little easier to see drawn up than it is walking around the yard. So what we have here is the tiny house blueprint drawings that I did. This is using a tool called Home Designer Architectural 2017. They have different versions with different features and stuff in it. This is a fairly advanced one for the home user to be able to do up some CAD type drawings, blueprint style. So this is the entrance that pre-existed on the side of that building. There were garage doors over here on this end, which I closed up and then opened this up to, or built a wall here for closet space. So that was that storage you saw in the previous video. Then here's the doorway opening going into the bathroom area. Door swings in. There will be a toilet, shower, stackable washer dryer, bathroom vanity all right here in the bathroom area. A little bit extra floor space here under these stairs. Door access to storage under the stairs as well. On the other side of this wet wall right here, we're going to have a sink, little 2-burner stove, no oven, microwave, vent fan overhead, then just some extra counter space right here, small apartment size refrigerator, and that's it for the downstairs area. Then moving upstairs, you will come up the stairs right here and turn. This will just be open area, like a hallway right here. We'll have our bedroom. I'll put that ceiling fan up in this bedroom area. I have decided to do one thing different than what the plans show. I was thinking this is the door I would leave open, and that I would close off this other door opening that I created over here, remove this wall in between that half bath and closet area to make this all one big closet. What I'm going to do different though is actually close this wall off. Let's see if I can just move this closet door. Yeah, I'm going to have to just delete that. Put a new door in here. This is a hinged door, and probably have it open out like that. And the reason I'm going to do that is when I create that wet wall downstairs, I have to do a vent pipe for all of that, which will come up through the upstairs area. It'll come in like right in the middle of this floor area right here. I'm going to need to turn it into this wall. Where it would come up in that wall, if I just came kind of straight up, it would come right in the middle of this door opening. And because that vent pipe's going to have to come through there, I'm going to have to move that door. So I'll put it over here. This actually might work better because I can do a railing along this wall here for hanging clothes, and then just do some shelves back in this corner over here, maybe along this wall right here. So that should work a little bit better anyways for how the closet lays out. So that is my plans for the tiny house, upstairs and downstairs. If we look at the floor plan for the deck, this is what the new deck will look like. So right here, this is this kind of gray-blue line right here. This is my current house right here. It's my little morning room. And then this is the back door. This wall comes across. I've got a couple windows here. So everything you see in front of this, if you took a line right here on the house and drew it straight out, this is the part of the deck that will remain. It's 7 feet from the house. That's the only piece of the deck, of the existing deck, that I'll be able to leave here. Everything you see out to the right of this is the expansion deck. So this deck, as you go past the edge of the house here, will just follow the house line over to the chimney and then come straight out this way, because I don't know if I show it on this drawing or not, but well, there's the deck outline. Let me try moving up a little bit here. Yeah, I didn't put it in here, but basically I can come over here and search for HVAC. I have 2 HVAC units outside, outdoor compressor unit. I've got one sitting right here, right behind the chimney, and I have another one sitting just a little bit to the side of that. It's actually set back a little bit, but we'll put it out here. I believe it's set back a little bit. Anyways, I have these HVAC units sitting out here, and I don't want to build my deck over those units. Now, technically, I did check with code and all of that, and I can, do it over those units, but those units need to be able to vent somehow, and maintenance people need to have access to the units. Now they can go under the deck to gain access, and I could put wire grates on top of the deck to give them air ventilation. That way you can still walk over them, but air can blow up. That just seems excessive. It's a lot of work I don't want to put into it. So I'm just bringing the deck alongside of them here and not going over them. I'll come a little bit past them so there's a walk area in front of them for the HVAC people. And then the deck will extend out a little bit farther. I'll put a couple little angle edges on here just for aesthetics on both ends here. And then there is going to be, I don't really show it in this drawing, but if you took a line where this extends out right here and you just drew that straight across right here, I'm going to have it step down going towards the left. So as you go this way, there will be 1 or 2 steps right here, right in this area right here, that just kind of drops that deck down a little bit, just to give it, again, a little more aesthetic appeal. A little bit lower deck right there. And then when you get over here towards the gazebo, I'll actually have it step back up. So it'll go down about 2 steps. It'll come up about 4 steps. And then we'll have a gazebo area right here. This is a 12 by 12 area inside this gazebo. So 12 feet across going this way, 12 feet across coming back the other way. And that will be my new deck. So I just wanted to show those 2 things with you. What I also wanted to share, I have this tool through the Old Farmer's Almanac called the Garden Planner tool. And I can create new garden plans, all sorts of different garden plans if I wanted to. I do have 2 garden plans I want to show you that I have created. I have my 2020 kitchen garden and then my food forest. I created this last year just as a plan. I haven't really done anything with it, but it gives me an idea, a kind of visual picture of what I want to do with the food forest. So let's look at the kitchen garden first. This is what my kitchen garden will look like this year. It bleeds over into the area where my food forest exists. Let me zoom this out a little bit to make it easier to see. And what you see here, this is the garden that I built. These are those beds that I've been building. I believe in the videos you've seen me build a couple of these beds, which you'll see more of in the future videos. So I'm going to build these 5 beds across here, and then I already have these outer beds built. I'll align all of this inside here with that stone that I have sitting back by my compost. And then this is my food forest area over here where I still have to remove some tree stumps. And I'm going to do some 3 sisters right here with corn and squash and beans, pole beans. And then behind that I'll have a little sweet potato patch. Now what's really cool about this garden planner with Old Farmer's Almanac is up here towards the top where it says all months, I can actually change this and see when I plan my garden out, I can see what I need to plant during each month. So right now, like in February, this is what I actually planted back in February. And I created some peas right here. I planted some spinach in front of that. Over here, I divided this bed up into 3 sections. I have arugula, Carolina broadleaf mustard greens, and then some sparkler white tip radishes right here. On the other side of the garden, I have some kale planted, and I planted some beets right in here. What I hope to plant coming up here pretty soon, we'll come over to March, is I'm going to put in some parsley and some carrots. And then probably end of March, 1st of April, that's when I'm going to start putting some of this other stuff in. So zucchini, bush beans. I have 2 different kinds of peppers I'm going to put in. I'm going to do some jalapeno peppers because I like to make salsa and that sort of thing. Probably pickle some of them too. And then I'm going to do some poblano peppers just for cooking, summer cooking, that sort of thing. 3 different types of tomatoes I'm going to put in these 2 beds. I've got some cucumbers I'll put in here. And then I'll start my corn. I'll do these corn planting in phases. And you'll see as we go towards May, eventually I have all my corn planted, and then I'm going to come back and do my beans and squash in phases. Plant my sweet potatoes over here. But notice that the radishes are gone because those should already be harvested by that point. And if I go one more month ahead into June, you can see that my arugula is also gone. And then by the time I get to July, my peas are gone and my mustard greens are gone. And so I'll replace this bed with, I'll do a fall planting and go ahead and start planting my cabbage here, which takes a long time to grow. I'm hoping to take that cabbage and do some sauerkraut with it maybe this fall. So we'll see what happens. It has to grow first. So it just goes on along like this, right? I can see when certain plants come out and other plants go in. So notice I'm starting to harvest by August, harvest my corn, squash, and beans out of here. And by September, all of this should be gone and I can replace it with Brussels sprouts. Just try it out, see how it does. If it doesn't do any good, that's okay too. Notice in this bed, I've replaced everything with beets. I've done full beets in this bed. I've got garlic over here in this one, onion in this bed over here. So just changing it up a little bit as I go along. By October, I got cauliflower, broccoli back here. Everything else should be gone out of this garden by October. And we usually don't get our first frost till end of October or 1st of November. And these sweet potatoes you see over here, those will go right up to the first frost before I have to tear those out and then dig up the sweet potatoes. So there's my fall garden, and then that'll actually go pretty much the same. November, sweet potatoes go away, and then by December, I should be able to put my garden to rest, except for the onions, garlic, and possibly the Brussels sprouts. So that's my garden, and you can see also in this plan, I can do shade and all of that. I'm going to build a little tool shed right here over the top where my gas tank is. I'm going to expand these garden beds out right in through here, going back towards where my pergola and gate is back over here. And this will just tie in with a fence. So that, and this dwarf apple tree, that actually already exists. That was here when I bought the house. I didn't even know what it was the first year I moved in, but it looked like a fruit tree, and found out later it was an apple tree. My third year in this house, I got my first apple, which some animal ate. My fourth year in the house, which was last year, I guess that would be my second year in the house, I had my first apple. Third year in the house, I actually had 5 or 6 apples, and animals got all those too before they could even ripen all the way. And then this year is my fourth year, so I've trimmed it up. I expect to get some good harvest out of it. So let me show you real quick my food forest. This is what I hope my food forest will look like when I'm done with it. So let me zoom out so you can get a good picture of this. So this is my tiny house right here, this gray area. And I'm going to build a fence right off that tiny house. It's going to shoot out over here, and it'll turn right at the last minute and tie back in with that fence that exists on the far side of my property, or the edge, I guess, of my property. And then I'm going to dig out a pond, put a pond in here. This pond will actually have a small waterfall effect right about here where you see these are supposed to be bushes, even though they say small trees. I've got some existing bushes there. It'll come under those bushes, waterfall down into this pond, which will extend out across here. It'll narrow and then widen again. And then I'll put a little bridge over that down on the low part, across the low pond, and then up here across the little stream coming from the high pond. And that will allow me to do a walking path all through my food forest here. And it just kind of weaves and meanders around through here. There will be a retaining wall across here, and then I'll build a pergola or arbor type structure against the house, and I'll plant grapevines, let them grow up the poles and across those lattices, and then I'll have a pretty little tunnel of grapevines right there. You can reach up and pick grapes. That's the idea. And then just throughout this food forest, I'm going to plant different things. Fruit trees, bushes, all kinds of different stuff. We've got red currant in here. May not be the exact layout you see here, but it'll be something along these lines. I've got raspberries, strawberries, blackberries. Not everything in here is edible, but it is all useful. So, for example, over here, I have comfrey on one side of this path. And then I have asparagus on the other. Apricot trees, plum trees, peach trees, persimmons will be in here, some fig. I'll do some Malabar spinach to grow up some of these smaller trees, cherry trees. I'll have one pecan tree in here. Just a whole bunch of good variety of different stuff throughout the food forest. And you just... once you plant it, you leave it alone. Occasionally you have to do a little bit of pruning, but otherwise you just enjoy it. It just produces for you year after year. It's all perennial. So this will be my food forest. And then, I don't know, maybe over here I'll put a little greenhouse in so I could do some germinating some of my plants for my garden. I'm not sure. I haven't decided on that yet. Do a little landscape patio over here by the tiny house. Just make this a pretty little area. So those are my plans. Just wanted to share those with you. One last thing I wanted to share. This is the portal that the Wake County, where I live, they make me go through to apply for the permit and everything. And from here, they can track my costs and my permits, and I can submit changes and all of that sort of thing with them. And so I've got my 2 active permits here. This is my building permit. This valuation they put on that, I didn't put that valuation on there. This is how much square feet I'm adding to my house. Under attachments, this is what I wanted to show you right here. These are the stamp plans for my patio, the deck that I'm building. So right here it says pre-existing deck. This is what's staying. This is all what I'm adding. All those black squares, those are my posts that I'm going to have to put in. So lots and lots of posts. Just a lot of work. And then this is just talking about structural wise, what I'm expected to have for it to pass inspections and so forth. Different types of bracing and whatnot. So there it is. That's everything I wanted to share with you. Thank you again for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed this. If so, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell. That way you'll be notified when I post videos in the future. Until the next video, I'll see you then.